Hello. How's everybody doing? I think there are two of us here right now. I have the chat on another screen to my right, so I'm ready to go. Okay, so, the situation. Star Citizen just dropped a new patch, so I'm actually going to cut the music for now. Like I was saying, Star Citizen just dropped a new patch, so I had to do some running around, making sure that my ship upgrades were still in place, of which I have one or two. Oh, yeah, two. Paint job, of course, and a better jump drive. So the question is now, what else do I need to do before I get flying? Hmm. I don't think there is anything. I'm out here on Orison by mistake. I chose the wrong city to start in. Why is this the wrong city? Because I meant to go to Area 18 for a simple reason. There's nothing but sky out there, and I'm not talking about the stars. I'm talking about the fact that Orison floats in the upper reaches of a gas giant, and it takes forever to leave the atmosphere, which makes space trucking not that much fun. The other reason why I'm here is because I need sustenance. In this space simulation survival game, you need food and drink to survive. So I guess I'm going to pick up some space burgers. Uh, we don't eat out of the trash. Things haven't gotten that bad. Um, Also, it looks like I kept my money, of which I have very little because I just bought a new car. And yeah, it was really just to get across the huge hangar that they assigned me. So here's the, oh, this isn't the shopping kiosk. Where is it? I see burgers. I can pick up burgers and buy them from there, but it's more convenient to buy them in bulk. Oh, what's this? Fat-free ice cream. The stuff of dreams. I'll just grab a bunch of that. I'll take one, two. And it's space ice cream, so it doesn't melt in your backpack. I'll take 5 cones of ice cream. And we need drinks, so of course, I think I'll get Fizz Cola. Seems like the healthy choice. And if anyone has played Star Citizen before, you will know that you can actually go get a better provision and it'll take care of hunger and thirst at the same time. But what fun is that? I can't drink soda and that's what I thought happened. And I can't eat ice cream in real life, so we're going to do it in space. Oh, we've got someone commenting on Patreon. And it's someone who is saying that they don't play Star Citizen because they haven't heard anything good about it. Well, it, what can I say? They know how to raise money, and they've raised nearly $1 billion for this game. And when I had a lot more money coming in, I used to actually subscribe and get all kinds of subscriber flair. Call the elevator. Button. Oh, good. Um, and I'd occasionally get a small ship or something until and I would often melt down old ships to get credit for new ships, which worked out extremely well, um, because my original, where am I going? That's where I'm going. My original um, opt-in to this game ages ago through a Kickstarter counted towards new ships. So that was pretty cool. But these days, all you need to play Star Citizen is to come through on a free fly weekend or week, or you can just pay 45 bucks and you get a ship, you get a little starting money, and I do mean a little. It's not much, but it doesn't really matter. And you get, I think, a starting space suit that's nothing special. And that's all you need to start. And you'll never have to spend anything ever again, which is great because most games cost more than 45 bucks these days, most AAA games. This is still in alpha, but I see it as a very playable game. Um, I really enjoy it when I get a chance to play, and I don't spend real money on it anymore, even as a subscription, because I don't have wiggle room in my budget. And I mean, this has gotten to the point where other games just don't really. I mean, it's a game with its own style, and I really appreciate the style. So really, is Star Citizen a scam? In my opinion, not anymore. At one point, when they were selling pictures of ships, promising that they'd release them anytime because they were working on them actively, and I don't think they were always necessarily telling a fib there, in my opinion. Oh crap, that's right, I have that new car I bought in game. Um, okay, where'd I park? But I don't think it's, you could really consider it a scam anymore. Okay, so they moved my car back into the bay. But at least I get to show you my favorite ship right now. All right, that hi JC, by the way. Um, you are the first commenter. Thank you. Um, yeah, the scuttlebutt was that Star Citizen was a scam, but now I mean, there's enough game to play. Multiplayer isn't painful anymore. um, and the game works most of the time. Yeah, No Man's Sky and Star Citizen, I think, eventually, if not already, are butting heads. No Man's Sky definitely has more territory to explore, but the detail level in this game and the handcraftedness of the locations pretty are much more impressive. They are going to something a little bit more procedural, but they're hand tuning everything before it goes live. As far as actually, from what they've said and from what they've kind of proven so far. Oh yeah, definitely. I know that's something that they're bringing to No Man's Sky, and I own the game. Wait, is my car parked over there? And I'm looking forward to it. I haven't played No Man's Sky in years, and I probably will. This is not a good idea, by the way. flying your ship around the hangar just to see if your car is parked on the other end. This is not responsible. Um, okay. So they only have walking and freighters right now. Well, considering they're not asking for more money, the way I look at it is that's pretty cool. Okay, get an exterior view. And what I'm doing is parking for my first oh, my first shipping mission here. Okay, so turn engines off so I don't get a hopping ship. And we'll just get out of the ship. No, I'm not really prejudiced against one game or another. I think competition in space games in any kind of genre is a really good thing. And if you're a space nut like me and you love sci-fi, you really can't have enough in terms of choices. Hey, did I leave an old part in the hidden compartment here? Oh, that got moved back. That's probably why it's in station inventory now. That's right. My ship has a hidden compartment that everyone knows about because this ship has been out for years. Okay, so let's see. Want to get I'm just taking a look at your chat. One sec. The other ships you can walk in the bridge and some area of your fleet ships. Okay. Yeah, I hope they catch up because it would be nice if they had their own version of a space sim. Yeah. Okay, so JC said I love playing around in games, not really playing the games. Okay, if what you mean is like playing non-combat roles and testing things out, then we're kind of on the same page these days because where are my vehicles? Oh, I've got to move the elevator down just to show you what's going on here. Hey, wrong keys. Basically, that's the cargo elevator, and it has to go down for me to move things onto it from storage. Um, Basically, I'm space trucking, just like the title says. So, um, there is a lot of combat in this game. I'm just sort of improving my flight skills by running around the universe delivering stuff. And it's become fun too. Okay, that's just parts and ship stuff. That's ammo, which I don't have any extra stuff of. Okay. Where is my Atlas? Is that one of them? That is an undersuit. Okay. Oh, other kind of just means everything. There it is, vehicles. Okay, so it's got parts and it probably has vehicles as well. Apparently you can't bring your... Oh, I know why. I haven't. So JC agrees with me. Yes, tinkering and building. Yeah, that's why I got stuck on games like 7 Days to Die because there was so much you could build with it. 7 Days to Die has over 1,400 different shaped blocks you can build with. So it's a little more than a zombie game. And that's what really got me stuck to that game. this game isn't so much of a haha. I can put my loader suit up. Um, yeah, 7 Days to Die was really good for that. Um, oh yeah, I ran a few servers too. I ran the 14 Days to Die server, and that was a lot of fun for a while. But it was mostly for builders. But I didn't go on too many other servers. I did check out what they were doing, what was different. But yeah, that might be familiar. um, CIG, Cloud Imperium Games, the company that makes this game, um, is full of Alien fans from the Alien franchise. And of course, they had to make a load lifter because, you know, that's what you do. And people went nuts for it. But yeah, with this game, there isn't much in the way of building yet. Yeah. Um, I don't know. I cooled on 7 Days to Die when they changed the way the game played, a lot of the mechanics. And they actually limited the number of zombies on Blood Moon Day um, on servers, and I think local games too. So that really cooled me off on it because, you know, when everyone's built all their stuff up and they've had a lot of fun designing their base and designing their horde defense spot, and they're sure that they're ready to go, there's nothing like um, starting up a super zombie blood moon for everyone just so they can test it or get together in one base and defend for, you know, 2 in real life hours. See if it all comes falling down. And that just wasn't really possible anymore unless you put a whole bunch of mods in. But for Star Citizen, there's nothing like that. Unless you're talking about the Vanduul raid, in which case that is right now a Starfighter based instance you can invite friends to. And yeah, they come in waves. I'm just going to get a mission, um, get a job. Um, they come in waves, and the waves get more and more intense until there's some kind of big battle at the end. I haven't done it in years since Arena Commander was pretty new. Um, but I have to get back into the Starfighter thing because, wow, it's really good in this game. Even though they're changing the flight model to um, be a lot more fun. But once you get basic piloting down, okay, so yeah, I don't know. With 7 Days to Die, it was kind of fun while it lasted. I'm not against developers changing their minds, but that their changes in that game didn't really suit me super well, so I am playing Star Citizen. There we go. So we got a job. We're gonna get a job, a cheapo. Yeah, taking supplies from this spot to orbit. And just move our boxes onto the freight elevator there and bring it up. While that's happening, I'm getting into my lifter. Okay, I learned how to do this from a player that became known as Elevator Guy. Oh, He didn't teach me that. That actually was kind of sad. Okay, I'm not set up right to do this. Okay. There we go. Wow. Okay, I'm really mucking this up. Basically, you load lifters are great because they do a lot of the thinking for you in a good way. But basically, it makes loading boxes really quick. It's dragging it to me, and I'm just chucking it in. While it's figuring that out, I can do the next one. And it's all just crammed in. Is that something there? No, that's nothing. All right. And yeah, in case you didn't read the description, and I don't blame you if you didn't, who reads descriptions? I'm doing this to hang out and chat with anyone who happens by and to brush up on flying. But yeah, Elevator Guy basically showed everyone who's interested in playing this game how to load boxes and unload boxes really fast and to kind of make it fun. And they called him Elevator Guy because during a challenge where different shipping companies were hiring players to move things around while they're in active competition with each other, Elevator Guy hung out near one of the major outposts and just helped people load and unload boxes faster than anyone had ever seen before. Are you guys going to open my hangar or what? Oh, I'm in queue. Whatever. I'll just up. Oh, looks like our doors are opening. May as well sit down and repair a little bit. So yeah, I see there are 2 more watching now, and if you guys have any questions at all in or out of game about the books or not about the books, you guys are welcome to ask. And recently I've gotten some questions about AI that I'll probably be answering in the next Q&A. I actually had someone email me and ask, why am I even writing books? And it was someone who was reading on some app that generated fiction on demand. So yeah, it was a large language app. And they actually had the nerve to ask me why I write. Ooh, didn't hit, I just leaned. Oh, yeah. Welcome to the chat, Brenton. Yeah, it's not available on the PlayStation right now, but the CEO of the company inferred that they may be interested in porting it there eventually, which could mean years from now. I really don't know. When they were on a visit to China and hosting a bar event, funny thing, uh, as far as I know, at the time of the bar event and now, people in China are not allowed to play this game. I don't know why. Um, I have no idea. And I could be wrong. I'm not an expert on that. But anyway, there were a lot of people there, and someone asked, "Is this going to be available on consoles?" And he actually had the nerve to infer that it was. To be fair, though, Chris Roberts, the CEO, does play this game on a controller. And apparently he's pretty good at it. So, okay. So, fun thing about this game, Newtonian physics are a thing. So I'm just remembering how to set my throttle limit, which is really a speed limit that you enforce yourself on the ship, and trying not to aim directly at the station so I don't fly into the station. Hey, it's obvious when you hear it out loud or if you've played games like this, but not to everyone. JC with a big chat. I've had discussions with people about spaceship design, and your ships are my main example of a good spaceship design compared to ships like Star Trek with the bridge on top in danger. Um, well, first of all, thank you, JC. That's awesome. Um, I really just, uh, here I go. I knew it would happen eventually. Um, Talking about my books. When I wrote Broadcast Zero, I really wanted an almost vintage style of ships with giant, thick hulls that were literally meters thick. And I wanted to be a big space opera. And um, the idea was I'd write the first book and then, well, the first trilogy. It became one book, one collected book. And I loved, woo, okay, too fast, too fast. Putting the landing gear down. Um, this is totally cheating. Um, really have to put a chase camera in my books to help with landings. Anyway, so yeah, it was supposed to be a big, bold space opera that lasted for 3 books, and then I'd maybe continue it in a series if I really loved doing it because it was my first effort writing science fiction. Most of the people who have been around my stuff know that story. What I don't really talk about is how the ship designs really changed. Cut engines. Um, because I want the rationale was free ground is an isolated place where technological development was limited. Um, okay, that's awkward. Um, so the idea was that when Spinward Fringe Broadcast 1 started, we saw ships that basically were more advanced but not as high quality. So their hulls would be thinner, not necessarily as strong. Oh, wow, did I botch that parking job? Close, no cigar. Oh. And so the Samson had a thinner hull that was pretty strong. And on one side could withstand roughly the same amount of radiation as something like the First Light. But um, it wasn't the same quality, like I said. So, engines off. Get my view back to where it belongs. And things evolved. Like the Samson, I believe, had a front facing hull that had like really expensive windows, really expensive view screen. But that was because it was based on the sort of design philosophy that you find in games like this, where seeing, there's my suit. Damn, it just blends right in. Um, so games like this have this philosophy of um, visuals being super important. Um, but if you've ever seen something like this space shuttle and the view from inside that, you'll see that there are windows, but they're minimal because, well, safety, basically. You cannot risk your astronauts by, or the budget, by putting huge windows in. And I think that's one of the things that um, I was surprised to get a lot of praise for. I also mentioned that, like, in the first light, I can't believe I used the word like that. Um, I'm not from California. In the first light, the original philosophy there was put the bridge on top, make a great big conning tower because you want to see everything you can while you're commanding your smaller ships around. Because even in um, free ground fleet, they had starfighters. But that philosophy fell on its face when they tried to update the fleet and they buried the bridge, which became a philosophy in some of the better fighting ships. And we're delivering our shipment. So I always have a philosophy when I'm designing these things in the books and some of the and thankfully that makes all that work so much easier now because a segment of one culture may look at ships like a hive, say for the EDZ and the sort of population dominant branch, which I haven't really talked about, but that's coming up in Legion. That's not a spoiler. That's just sort of an obvious thing. Not all insects are the same, and the EDZ are no different. Whoops. Um, so, right. Like JC's saying, the windows aren't for looking forward in the shuttle, in the real space shuttle for the most part. They're for in Atmo and to look around the craft in close quarters when cameras don't see, air quotes there, so far as I remember. Yeah, I think that's dead on, actually. But I think they also alleviated claustrophobia quite a bit. Um, it's amazing what a small window can do to your brain. You're not in a flying coffin, see? Um, but yeah, so yeah, I kind of latched onto that philosophy a little bit. And I always liked the idea of progression. That's something that I didn't realize would be valuable early on. Right. I'm looking for a contract. I want to make money because I want to buy a bigger ship. Um, so yeah, I'm just really happy that I started all of um, that design philosophy way back then because I may describe the ships differently now, but it's all from the root philosophy of like, what is the ship for? Is it going to go flying into combat? Is it just to tour around? Like the original Clever Dream, I literally had like a tourist pod, actually two tourist pods, because I saw it in a design I really liked, but I don't think I ever mentioned them in the books. So if I did, it's way back there and they never got mentioned again. Um, I'll find out soon. I'm rereading all of the books in preparation of for Spinrad Fringe Legion, and I'm enjoying it so far. I've it's almost embarrassing liking my own cooking, but there you have it. I really like what I write. JC, I need to get back into reading. I took a break due to headaches, but I'm starting to read again. Yeah, I chuckled because yeah, I've been into a lot of where am I going? Kind of don't want to be here. Okay, I'm gonna go over to Area 18, which is on a different planet. But yeah, I've been listening to a lot of nonfiction audiobooks in the last few years, and I find that I really have to sort of set the mood for reading these days, which is kind of embarrassing because I should be reading every day. I should be reading text because it's good for writers, and it's actually good for a lot of people. They're finding out it's good for most people. It gives your imagination room to breathe. And if you're not visually imaginative, in other words, if you don't visualize things very well, um, it allows you to enjoy how things are phrased more. Are any of my books in audio format? JC asks. Yes, right now the Google Play Store has Psychoelectric, which is really well narrated by David Burlekamp, who I have to reconnect with soon. He's a great guy. Um, and, oh no, he might even see this. Oh, good. I could remember his name. I would be so embarrassed if I had to look up his name. Adam Werner was kind enough to read, read and perform Broadcast Zero, which was a task. That's a Origins is a big book. Um, yeah, Broadcast Zero is there, and it was done by him, Adam Werner, and he did Broadcast One. I would love to continue with him, but my financial situation doesn't really permit it at the moment. So I'm gonna get them to open the door, which will happen in a minute because they're so busy here. Um, but you don't necessarily have to buy them on the Google Play Store. They're priced very friendly there. I think they're about $7 each, which is really nothing for an audiobook. I'll finish what I was saying and I'll read your question, JC. Thank you for being a star in the chat. um, yeah, they're priced pretty low, but what I might be doing, actually, I'm definitely going to be serializing them through Patreon or just on YouTube where people can watch them for free because I'm hoping to get lightly monetized in the next couple of weeks. So I just have to hit 500 subscribers maybe. And I'll probably be posting each chapter of the audiobooks in a playlist on YouTube so I can recoup some of the money that I spent on audiobooks because I haven't earned all of it back. They're expensive. Narrators are expensive. Um, and I won't go back to um, having them read by AI because I did for a while and I find the quality doesn't really hold up. And AI is taking all of our creative jobs, so I'm not going to participate in that. I don't know if they'll come for my lunch, but 37 of my books were stolen by Meta's AI, and I can only say that because that's searchable now. um, anyway, back to your other question. JC says, "I love your books because you do a great job in your descriptions. That such a great job in your descriptions that for me gives me a movie like story as I read." Um, yeah, trying to keep that up. Writing the Rogue Element series for the last year has been a great challenge. Um, and one of the ways in which it's challenging is that keeping that descriptive narrative going when it's first person, because everything is through the main character's eyes. And sometimes that's hard because it may not make sense for her to concentrate on the things that I want to describe. So sometimes you have to be I don't know, creative. Okay, so we are going to. There are mining bases all over the place. Okay, we'll check out R Corp. Zoom in. Yeah, and I'm sorry if it looks like I suck at this game. I do. I'm not ashamed of it. Bajini Port. We'll go there. It'll take a while. Let's see. So we'll get out of there and let's jump. Yeah, in this game, you actually have to charge your jump drives and sync your navigation. It gives pirates a chance to catch you, which this ship has escaped many pirates. Mm. Actually, yeah, it's escaped more than 4 or 5 pirate attacks, which is pretty fun. Yeah, so audiobooks, yes. The whole series, no, which is, I think that's kind of sad. That's why for a while there was an AI version of all of them on Google Play um, before auto reading was any good and before it looked like AI was coming for every creative's job. But a few months ago, I um, pulled the AI versions down because I just didn't want to be on that side of things, especially since there are people who subscribe to certain apps that I won't call out here just in case they're litigious that generate books based on, you know, hundreds of thousands of books that were taken without permission. So, and some with permission, to be fair. I mean, some of these companies do pay authors. Um, I've already been offered one opt-in opportunity for no money by one of my distributors. I won't say any more because no one knows what's going to happen with this stuff. I have theories, but it's still early. It doesn't seem like it, but it's still early. But yeah, what we're doing now is just transitioning to another planetary system, ArcCorp, because we're in the Stanton system. And one of the cool things about the lore in this game is that, come on, scroll out. When the UEE, the leading military force in this game, the humans, found Stanton, the Stanton system, they sold the rights to the different planets to different companies. So this is ArcCorp, and ArcCorp owns this little planetary system. So it's moons, the planet, and I think that's one of those ideas where I heard it and I envied it because I didn't think of it. I think it makes a lot of sense in a certain environment. Bajini Point. And yeah, I have to admit they've done such an amazing job at on the cloud tech on this planet. Kind of want to go to our corp proper. Yeah, let's go to the planet. Let's go down. Okay, let's do this faster. 18. There we go. Chart a course. Yeah, and we'll just do a mini jump. I do have something similar with Haven, JC says. I guess. I don't know. I don't really know what you're pointing at. I know naming rights to one planet that was just terraformed in a recent book. I think that went to a vote in the story. I'll find out. I'll be able to refresh myself very soon. But I know in real life, I asked my readers what I should call the new planet. So that was fun. There were a few really good ideas on the table. But yeah, the Haven system they renamed it because um, there's practically no one there. And they wanted to send a message. Oh, misunderstanding what I meant. Well, in Star Citizen, the lore says that the Stanton solar system was divided up by planet. Um, so they basically sold the rights to um, each planet and the moons around it to different corporations. That was all I was saying. And I've crashed in this city once. Oh, okay. So I'm getting too close to buildings. Oh, crap. Apparently, I might have been arrested or something. So I have a crime stat of 1, which is not critical. And the system is repositioning me. And I've been convicted of second-degree trespassing for flying too close to buildings. That hasn't happened to me before. Well, I'm just glad I didn't have a load of cargo. Yep. Whoops is right, JC. Okay, I don't know. The system sometimes takes time moving people around, and I think that's an anti-cheat measure, which is fine, but I hope it frees me up soon because I can't do anything. Did I mention this game's in alpha? Hmm. I hope it frees me up soon because I don't want to reload. I don't know what'll happen if I reload. So this game is supposed to go 1.0, meaning out of alpha in sometime in the next 18 months, maybe 2 years. But I mean, other than this year, this is the first year where they've actually hit development targets more often than not. So they're getting better, but I don't know. I've learned not to really expect most game companies to meet their dates when it comes to a full release. Do, do. Happy to see a new visitor. But now's the time to ask me questions because we're just waiting for this repositioning player thing to resolve. And then I'll have to bring my ship out and get all that stuff done. Okay, can I do anything? Okay, what? Nope. Oh, Star Citizen. This is the first time this has happened in a while. I had a game crash the other day, and it wasn't really a big deal. If I was streaming, I could handle it. It would just be a few minutes. Well, not even. Uh, it'd just take a reload, which would be a minute or so, or less. But this is ridiculous. I don't know. I hope it's not sending me straight to prison because that's a whole mini game. In prison, you either have to mine your way to freedom, earning, well, earning your way out by mining resources and getting credit for it until you're paid up, or you can try to escape, which I am officially terrible at and have never succeeded. So definitely a challenge for later. That's another thing I'm not good at, first person shooters, and that's part of this game too. Yeah, this is not the most fun I've ever had. Yeah, now's the time for questions, guys. So dead air is a lot of fun. Well, I'm gonna just try to actually try to exit to menu. And then force the game to respawn me in a reasonable place. I'll probably pop out somewhere on the planet in a bedroom. Okay, yeah, I'm in area 18. Oh, JC says I was trying to find the books on your own devices or online. Oh, yeah. Go to the Google Play Store and you'll find the audiobooks there as well as the ebooks. I actually, yeah, Rogue Element, the ebook, Rogue, the first book in the Rogue Element series, Rogue Assembly. Um, yeah, I'm fine. I'm back on R Corp. I know my way around here. Um, that is free right now, and it should be perpetually unless something crazy happens. So if you wanted to grab it, that would be a good place to grab it. As far as audiobooks are concerned, it's pretty painless. I think they're actually really priced down. Like, I think what I wanted to do is uh, basically price them at half of what a month of an Audible subscription would cost. So they're probably around $7 or $9, which isn't really that bad for an audiobook of that length. Because Psychoelectric is very long, and well, it's long, and a clothing store. And Origins, Spinrad Fringe Podcast Zero, is really long. So, Okay, so what we want is food, drink. Just buy a bunch of those. Funny, no lag when you're buying stuff. Just buy a few of those. Oh, JC says you haven't downloaded them. Okay, right. Well, I don't know. This isn't a sales pitch, but I listen to the audiobooks when I'm refreshing, but I read passages that have a lot of technical details I might need, and I make notes. But that's of course just me. I'm studying to write the next trilogy of Spinrad Fringe books, so my needs are different, but I still enjoy it. Thankfully, I mean, it would really suck if reading my own work felt like pure homework. Um, okay, where am I going? I'm going to transit. But I'm going to take a little break and end the game. And drink some soda, eat some food. And yeah, I'm using a female character because if no one uses them, why would the developers care about them? There we go. And that's what we do with our garbage on our corp. And we'll have some ice cream. I've never seen the animation for this, so. And there's no animation, which is probably a good thing. Oh, it's an edible cone, so there's nothing to throw away. That's good for the environment. You have to remember to put your bucket on. Okay, so I have to go back to public transit, which is fun in this planet. I like the transit here. Okay, civic section, Riker International, or Riker Memorial Spaceport. There should be a terminal for me to pay my fines here too, or nearby. Oops. But yeah, if you're patient though, in the next few weeks you should start seeing the audiobooks migrate to um, Patreon. If you're a member there, I think you are. I have a really bad memory. Um, and probably on YouTube, because the value of those audiobooks being free, believe it or not, is higher than having them for sale. Because in my career right now, I'm in a rebuilding phase. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing YouTube and having this kind of fun. I know almost no one will show up. If it's possible, no one will show up for these live streams. And that's okay. Getting my face out there on videos that people can play back is really important, because I asked myself, um, what can I do to be more present for people who enjoy my work, and for people who might be looking for something that I write or do? You'll try to make it, as in try to be patient enough to wait. Yeah. I understand either way. I'd appreciate the sale, but you know, either way, if you're one of the listeners who enjoys them on YouTube, enjoys these audiobooks on YouTube later, or, you know, For lives. Oh yeah. Okay, you'll try to make it for lives. Yeah, that makes more sense. I really appreciate it because you give me someone to talk to. But I sort of asked myself, is this something that I can do? And the answer is yeah. This mic is left over from my old podcasting studio, and I sold the others. I used to have a set of four, and podcasts are huge. There are so many of them. They're really popular. It's impossible to compete right now if you're a small creator like me. And I don't have really many co hosts around these days. Most of my friends do not want to be on video. They don't want to be in front of a microphone either. Get up quickly. We don't want to miss our stop. Right. And I enjoy video games. So, I mean, eventually I'll probably have adventures with friends here, possibly with readers if they play. Because it's one of the best ways to turn readers into friends. Oh wait, where's that console where I pay my bounty off? Oh, here it is. But yeah, and I'm shy. Like it may not seem like it if you listen to my podcasts, old podcasts, very old. Um, that okay, that's my balance, and I owe 2,000. Okay, that's not bad. And I'm no longer a criminal. But yeah, I'm shy. Like I don't like the way my face looks on camera. And like the last video I put on YouTube was difficult for me to look at because that's practically all you saw. The angle was so crazy close that my head was huge. Yeah, JC says he doesn't have a camera. I don't blame you. um, and I tried doing some traditional publicity for my books on the local news, and that worked out quite well. Um, okay, so you joined me in audio. Yeah, if I get more of that interest, I'll probably start a Discord for everybody, so we can actually have audio chats. But I'm not so precious that. Well, I'll put it another way. With a career that is not growing anymore, and it's my readership has actually shrunk quite a bit. I asked myself, what would I go on video if it meant saving my career? Would I start putting my face out there, putting myself out there, um, letting people ask whatever questions they wanted, answering most of them? Um, would it be all be worth doing if it helped? And at this point in my life, I'm also, single, over 50, and I'm just going to say dating apps are a nightmare. Hey, my loader's in here. Great. Um, and I didn't really play around with any. Yeah, same. Um, well, I don't know if JC said the same to that, but I think so. So, the best way to meet someone and to be present for readers or a crowd that you may be fortunate enough to have gathered around something you do is to be present and to answer those questions to the point where um, well, no, I'll backtrack that. Answer those questions in ways that don't counter your morals, right? So as long as your morality is intact, whatever you do to further your goals, in my opinion, is worthwhile. And regardless of how awkward I often feel in front of a camera or on audio when it's not just me and my friends, I kind of said, well, if I don't do it and in, say, a year, my career is over, and all I can do is pursue my career as a hobby, which I don't want. I want to do this full time um, for the rest of my life. Then, if I looked back in a situation where my career is over and said I could have done that, maybe I should have done that. Um, I don't really think that's a good place to be. So I'm doing this and doing some other stuff that you don't see the results of yet to be more present for you guys, to be more of a more approachable. And people who see this later will hear that speech and it's really disjointed and kind of interrupted, but I hope it's important to someone. And I'll continue doing it until I really can't for whatever reason. Which by can't, I mean, I'm called to another job to make ends meet, or um, I have to spend my attention on something else that's more important. And that's about it. But I am working on a longer series of YouTube videos, or maybe one full length video with proper editing that talks about how I find YouTube terrifying. Um, and I think it's kind of a valuable video because younger people don't seem to have as much trouble getting their faces on video. And it's really, in some ways, it's benefiting them a lot. In other ways, it's not. So there's a movement for people in our age group. If you're actually in my age group, I don't know. Um, to get on YouTube and to be present because we didn't grow up with social media and our outlooks are often different. Okay, now I've run around my ship like completely, almost completely. I have to figure out what to do. So I think I'm going to take another job because there's another half hour or so left of the stream. What are we looking at? Yeah, there's another 30 minutes or so. So those fines and the impounding fine for my ship cost me a total of 25,000 credits. Yeah, JC's saying they, meaning the younger people, are growing up with it. Yeah, I mean, for me, the internet hit in 97, I think. So I've had the internet since then and I've watched it change and all that stuff, but I was older. JC says, I'm glad there weren't cameras everywhere when we grew up. No evidence. Yeah. Um, I admit to nothing, but I agree with you. Um, whatever that may infer, I don't know. Okay, so yeah, we're just going to go to Bajini Point. Actually, let's see if there's something here. Yeah, let's take this to Bajini Point. Is it only supply grade hauling? So that's going to take a minute. Oh, we'll go small grade. It's faster. And this, believe it or not, is refreshing me in terms of piloting and getting fresh on the game again. Okay. Just looking for a delivery route that starts with this spaceport. Okay, no. Oh, come on. as well get a drink well. Yeah, for anyone who plays Star Citizen and is tearing their hair out watching me now or in the future, um, sorry, I'm keeping it simple today. I'm being picky. Okay, this is ridiculous. So I'll just scroll back up. No, no. Okay, so we'll just. Okay, we'll take this offer even though it's not from here. It's from Bajini Point, the space station in orbit, to this spot. So we'll get a chance to land here again. Hopefully in daytime because I'm not a great night flyer. Man, I'm like a senior citizen in Star Citizen, only I'm in reality 51 years old. That's just crazy. And that is very clippable. Please don't clip that and share it. Or do. I don't know. Be a weird way to be internet famous. Okay, let's look around the ship. Oh, okay. Am I still locked down or something? Hmm. Okay. Okay, just want to make sure I can clear the doors. Yep, we're good. Landing gear up. Yeah, I've been playing space sims since Lucasfilm released Fractalus Rift in the 80s. And remember the original Star Fox, um, Wing Commander, of course. I didn't play Wing Commander, I played Wing Commander 3. And Chris Roberts was the lead designer programmer on that. So this is like Wing Commander only on steroids in an open universe. Um, only 2 star systems right now, but there's a third one coming in a couple of weeks. Come on, let's go. I've got a delivery to pick up. Oops, wrong button. But yeah, my biggest fear with showing my face on video and talking to people like you guys in chat is that I fail on the credo of never meet your heroes. Not saying I'm anyone's hero. JC, I started playing video games on the Atari 2600 when it was first released. Okay, don't crash. Not talking to you. Yeah, I remember playing on that because a neighbor had one, and they didn't have kids, but they were friends with my parents, so they really wanted to see my reaction and my brother's reaction. I think my brother was 4 um, when we actually played on the Atari, and that must have been a hell of a thing for them. I all I remember is being focused on the game. I think it was the Atari version of Space Invaders. But yeah, just to finish with my babble, my biggest fear with this stuff is that yeah, it was fun. Um, is that I will lose readers by appearing on camera and by doing stuff like this. That they'll ask questions like, "Why aren't you writing?" And, well, you can't write all the time. You'll drain your brain and burn yourself out. It happened before. So that's the quick answer. I'll be honest, I don't get a lot of ideas from this game. I get ideas while I'm playing this game. So it's more about the setting and the accoutrement. My French accent is terrible. Um, yeah, JC's agreeing. He says you need a mindless break. Too true. Where is my hangar, folks? Apparently, they haven't assigned me one yet. These bastards. Oh, there we go. Um, but yeah, so that's the fear that by showing my face, I'll lose people. And the first reader I met in person who came in from out of town for a beer because he was at a nearby construction site, he will remain unnamed. It was early in my career. I met him. I have no idea what I said. But that's not a hanger. Definitely not. Okay, don't want to crash. Um, that's the entrance. Talking and flying isn't my forte. But we hung out for an hour, had a couple beers, and I never saw him or heard from him again. You know who you are. Um, but I still started a podcasting studio after that. So it didn't totally take the wind out of my sails. JC says, I have a problem docking with my freighter in No Man's Sky. Okay, this is me taking it very slowly because my I'm very insecure as a pilot right now. Yeah, JC replying to my story about the reader who escaped their loss. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I hope to be engaging if not charming. So I'll turn the engines off. Oh shoot. Okay, we're just going to service the ship and get fueled up. Then I'll throw everything in the trunk and get going. But I see this game as a pretty good fit. I don't imagine the Spinrad Fringe universe to be a perfect match for this game or vice versa. Oh, what did I do? Oh, apparently the exterior view is blocked. um, I don't expect this to be a perfect match. This isn't how I imagine the Spinrad Fringe universe in general, but I believe there might be a place like that looks like this in that universe. It wouldn't be an imperfect match for some spots. But this ship is definitely not the Clever Dream. Even though, because this is right now my favorite ship in the game, um, being one of the original sponsors for the game, I got naming rights. I can use whatever name I choose on most of the ships in this game. And I think it's a one time thing. So when I got this ship, I gave it the name Clever Dream because I thought it was so cool. I still like this ship, even though it really does not match what I imagined the Clever Dream to be. This is kind of hamburger shaped. It's thick in the middle, you know, but I think it's a really cool ship. If they made a ship that looked like I imagined the Clever Dream to be, I'd probably, yeah, I'd be pretty crazed. Okay, those are my boxes. Am I seriously just, I'm picking up 11 boxes. Go, bring it up. Yeah, JC says I do like that name as well. Yeah, that's why I got a little bit cheesy with one of the names in the Rogue Element series. I couldn't resist. We'll put it at that, just in case you haven't read those books, which I'm pretty sure you have. Um, but yeah, I have a problem where I don't remember names super well, which is something I'm working on. Okay, so let's try to get this done properly. By properly, I mean quickly. There we go. I don't know if elevator guy would be proud, but okay, let's just put that there. Think he'd salute me for trying. Oh, that one's stuck. Get the one at the end. You're not sure when you stopped. Well, I appreciate you for showing up for the chat, that's for sure. And for going as far as you did. I do wish that all the books were in audio format. Because I know people have a much harder time reading these days. Get over there. Where are you not? There we go. Yeah, it's a lot harder to read now because I think everyone's attention spans have taken a real hit, mine included. So, so I'm definitely not accusing anyone or blaming anyone for not keeping up with a series that puts out at least a book a year. Why are you being a pain in the butt? Not you. Oh, you're looking at buying the paper copies. Yeah, there was supposed to be like the shelf behind one of the shelves behind me is literally the library that I sell my books out of. And that was supposed to be refilled um, about a month ago. So I finally got the money together to restock and send the books out. But we are in a postal strike now in Canada. So that is again delayed because our postal workers who deserve fair treatment, not taking anything away there, um, they like to leverage the Christmas season against Canada Post. So that's all the boxes. Um, which I agree is effective, but it hurts a lot of people in Canada. Um, so if you don't want signed copies, if you don't need signed copies, they're all available through Amazon, which I know some people are boycotting, but they print and distribute my paper copies. So that's where they are right now. So the nice thing about that is you can just buy them whenever you feel like. You don't have to buy a set when they pop up on my store or, there's no big commitment. I don't really like cornering people into, you know, doing things exactly my way. Okay. Improve that parking job. Hey, I'm lined up. Ish. There we go. Oh, okay. So you've boycotted Amazon for years. Well, I am looking at getting things through broader distribution in terms of print because more people are reading print now, I think. At one point, there was a huge swing to ebooks, but overall, with considering all genres of books, I think more print is selling than there were years ago. So that distribution is becoming more important. Yeah, you'd rather buy them from me directly, signature or not. I appreciate that. I really hope that I can start selling them personally soon. I don't love being my own retailer. Yeah, if not for the tariffs, JC says. Yeah, I hope tariffs don't really hit books, but that may be, I don't know. Hopefully if there are tariffs, they're really low, but we'll see what happens. But either way, I don't love being my own retailer because it takes time away from other things. But um, it makes a lot of sense, and people get signed copies, which is a really happy thing. Because I can't expect anyone to pick them up in Northern Ontario. That's asking a lot. Okay. But on the other hand, I am very good at being my own retailer because I've been packaging and selling collectibles. Not as much anymore, but I've been doing that for since I was a teenager in various degrees. Did I screw that up? Yep. There we go. What? Okay. Kept on hitting the wrong button. Root. Weird. Okay, let's go. Yeah, apparently if I tried flying straight there, I'd head through the planet, which isn't ideal. Okay, let's get away from the station. But yeah, so packaging and making sure your stuff gets there safe is not a problem. I'm good at it. I have had a 100% rating on eBay for ages. And I mean, I've sold comic books, I've sold collectibles, all kinds of stuff. I'm finished flipping that stuff now. Like I don't buy many collectibles anymore to flip, but I still have a bunch that I plan on selling as soon as the postal strike's over. It's just, yeah, that's no, I understand both sides in that conflict, but it's still a huge bummer that they're on strike right now because I had plans. I had a lot of shipping plans, including restocking my books and signing a bunch for people. I really wanted to get copies of the latest series, which I'm going to be finishing in the next week or two. Um, Rogue Element. I wanted to get copies of the first book in that series out to people who've been supporting me for a while. Yes, we're headed towards the ground awfully quick. But yeah, I appreciate you looking for print copies. I'm just curious, was there like a major story point where you hopped off the series at? I know I'm not avoiding spoilers, so sue me. Actually, don't. I can't afford a lawsuit. Um, but was there a point where you just said that's enough for me, or did you just stop reading? Either way, I won't be offended. I'm really cool that way. Where's my hanger? Feel like Mr. Magoo up here. Yeah, you just stopped. That I mean, so many people in the last few years just stopped reading. Oh, there it is. Practically right on top of it. Uh, This is an awkward angle. Okay. All right, you're starting to get headaches. You mentioned that before. Yeah, reading on screens isn't ideal. I did it for a while. I still have an unopened Kindle Paperwhite, I think it's called. And I'll probably just list it in my store because I'm back to reading on paper whenever I can. Landing gear is not down, so I definitely have a repair bill. Hop and turn. There we go. Let's see how much that drop cost me. Yeah, I used to get headaches when I was reading any screen that was too bright. And I don't know, for me, I think it changed when I lost weight. That and I don't sit in front of a screen for as long in a stretch. Like this um, streaming stuff has me in front of a screen for 2 hours, but it seems fine. A lot of things weirdly have changed since I lost weight. So, what was I doing? Okay. F1. Please service my ship. That did no damage. Yay for shields. Okay, just refueling. And okay, JC says he was using phones and computers to read on. Yeah, I could totally see that. I'd probably still get a headache if I was reading something off my phone because I don't do that very much. Okay, let's see how fast we can chuck these into the freight elevator. We're okay, so we're delivering carbon from a space station to a planet that is made of carbon. Eh, who am I to question someone else's sci-fi? Really, it just seems odd to me. Okay, I didn't put that down properly. There we go. Get back there. Okay, that might not work either, but I'll fix it later. Yeah, it helps if you lock these boxes to a grid so the system can register them properly and get you paid. But thank you very much for hanging out. I think there's 6 minutes left to the stream. And I'll probably do this again. I might do it with more warning next time. I've just been trying these out as I have a little time to put in. And as I want to play games. Like I had no plans to play this with friends just now. And I expect most of them are busy and they don't play Star Citizen. Um, so it seemed like the perfect opportunity to connect with a reader or two. And I really appreciate you being here if I haven't said so already. Okay, so nope, that one. Yeah. Okay, make sure you're locked in. Yeah, they give you a hand tool. Well, no, you can buy a hand tool in game to move these boxes around, but it's not nearly as effective. Like I'm just using the scroll wheel to move things. but the auto loader does it for you automatically. But I don't necessarily endorse this game, but I have a lot of fun with it. So make your own judgment. And who knows, if I stick to this game and I keep doing this, I may run into a few of you online. Okay, did I get paid? Uh-oh, I think I got paid. Contracts. Am I missing a box? Or did it not register? Oh no. And there's nothing there. Okay. Just make sure I didn't miss a box. Oh, you're reading Samurai Squadron 3. Yeah, so you're not really behind at all. Well, I mean, unless you consider other series. So yeah, I hope you finished it. I like how that book ended. You found it on Ream. Right, okay. Yeah, I could see it being pretty hard to not read that on a screen since Ream is online only. But yeah, that's where I recognize you from. Okay. Um, submit. Oh, it's completed now. That's really weird. Well, now the age-old question, did I get paid? Yes, I did. Okay, so in summation, yeah, just to finish what we were talking about though, I don't know if you read, I think you did. I think I remember seeing comments from you on it, but I don't know if you read Rogue Assembly, but she had three more books. Um, one is Rogue Cause, then there's Rogue Clipper. No, actually, Rogue Cause, and then there's Rogue Chase, and then there's Rogue Clipper, which I'm finishing now. Um, and yeah, I really like how those work out. You think you started it, but yeah, if you get around to it, and the the first three Rogue books are available in print, so hopefully I will have those in stock here. But I'll tell you what I'll do. Yeah, I think you might have too. Because I remember seeing your name on Ream. Tell you what I do. What I'll do. Send me a message somewhere. I don't know if there are private messages on YouTube. I don't think so. But send me an email. Um, and I will, as soon as things open up, I'll ship you a hardcover copy of Rogue Assembly. Signed. You owe me nothing because you hung out with me for 2 hours and you kept me talking. That is super valuable. Um, this is the second stream I've done like this. So thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. Um, for anyone watching in the future, this isn't something I regularly do. The hard copy I'm sending JC will only be printed the one time, and there are only 10 copies. This is a special printed edition of Rogue Assembly because it's the original edition. So it's the version he read on Ream, and which is the Patreon like site that I'm leaving to go back to Patreon. So now you just go to my Patreon site. Um, it was put out on Ream and then it was deeply re-edited. So I'll ship you the original edition of this book and it'll be signed and there will be something personal in it about this stream. And thank you very much for hanging out. I'm going to stop running back and forth in my ship, which I do enjoy, and um, sign off. And JC's comment is, it was fun. Sorry you missed the first one. You know what? This is going to happen again. So if you catch it, you'll be here. If you don't, there's no hate. So um, I guess I should summarize what happened during the stream. Lots of chat, but in game, I started with about 49,000 credits. That's Alpha UEC. And I'm ending with, wow, I made more money than I thought. 125,646 credits. And it's even after paying 25,000 credits in fines for trespassing amongst the buildings. So I hope everyone enjoyed this. And let's say the normal YouTube things. Please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers, and leave a comment and a like if you enjoyed this very amateurish stream where I fumbled around on this amazing space sim. Thank you again, JC, and to everyone else who popped their heads in just to see what was going on. I'm going to roll credits, and I'll see you next time.